Yup. You already know what it is. Southpaw Slick, live at work. And today's question, once again, comes from a post I seen on Facebook. And the guy asked, can a man still be considered a provider if he wants to go 50-50 in a relationship? Now, I have done a video about the 50-50 relationship thing a couple months back, but this question is worded a little bit differently. Can a man be considered a provider? Now, of course, the comment section was a mixed bag. You have the yes, the no's, the reason why. There's a lot of men in the comment section that are very pro 50-50. Very pro 50-50. And this also ties in to the other video I did, why modern men don't want to protect and provide for women. And like I said, this comment section is very telling about the generation we currently live in. But the answer on my end, I would have to say no. A man cannot be considered a provider if he is receiving help from his significant other or any other kind of third party provision. A provider is a man, at least a man that pays for the primary bills, such as the rent / mortgage, the majority of the utilities. Now, if a woman wants to pay for like groceries and, vacation trips, like stuff like that, the superfluous things, that's perfectly fine. A man can still be a provider with that kind of setup. But if a man is going half on rent or mortgage with a woman, I think the definition of provider wouldn't apply. It wouldn't apply. And I know a lot of guys in the comments, I said the same ones that would probably watch this video. They'll be like, oh, if you think that way, then you're a trick. There was actually a guy in the comment section that said that. You're a trick if you provide for your family 100%. Interesting. The way I see it, a man that pays for all, if not the majority, is basically solidifying his status in the household. He's the authoritarian. He's the leader. He lays down the rules. He has all the say because he pays all the bills. And men who are able to prefer it that way. They prefer if their wife doesn't chip in or doesn't work at all because that gives him all the power. Now, with some women, they caught on game, right? And they actually don't mind, like chipping in a little bit so they can have a little bit of say. You know what I mean? But a man that's like, power drunk or is a control freak, he would rather have it that way. Or better yet, just a man who's a benevolent dictator would rather have it that way. Now, to be fair, even though I say that a man that wants to go 50-50 isn't a provider, but a contributor, doesn't mean I'm against that kind of setup. The reason being is because in this day and age, if you consider inflation, even it was already bad before, if you consider inflation post-pandemic, it's damn near impossible to sustain a household or your livelihood with just one income. It's to the point that you have to make a minimum of, I'll say in most states, a minimum of $75K. to even be able to make shit happen month after month, week after week, better yet. Because those bills do come quick. But like I'm saying, if you're able to stay on top of it, then you're good. But I think that's probably the minimum is $75K as far as the man paying 100%. Now, considering the fact the majority of men and women don't make that, the 50-50 setup is necessary. I'm saying 2 incomes is what makes shit happen. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have to, like chip in or go half with your girlfriend or wife or whatnot, just to make sure everything flows nicely, month after month. I'm saying keep a roof over your head for you guys and the kids. Keep groceries in the house. Utilities paid, water, electric, cable if necessary, internet if necessary, insurance, security if necessary. Like I said, all this stuff adds up. And one man being able to pay all of that, that's a lot of weight on your back. But like I said, if you have the resources, the finances to make that shit happen, then why not? Go for it. I'll fully support people that want to be traditional as long as there's some reciprocity. Now, I know everybody can't be 100% traditional in a modern society. So going back to the 1950s, that's pretty much out the question, like I've stated in numerous videos. I'm saying, but if a man is providing 100% like he's expected to, then a woman needs to do her part as well. As far as, being the caretaker of the kids in the household, cook, clean, nurture. That's expected on your end, 100% as well. Because you have women, that always bitch and complain about how a man, all he has to do is work and then come home and everything is all good. While I'm at home washing the dishes, doing the laundry, taking care of the damn kids, that's a little bit more taxing than what you have to do. Basically, going to work, for some men, working 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Got to deal with all the bitching and complaining from your coworkers, from your boss, from certain customers, depending on what kind of company you work for. You don't think that's taxing on a man either? And actually have the audacity to get upset that a man who's providing 100%, going the extra mile to make sure his family is good, that is an issue for you to have a hot meal on the table when he comes home. Like I said, it's crazy how some women think. Like I'm saying that doing their fair share is optional. What I have to do is obligatory, just because. It doesn't work that way. It's a two-way street. Now, if you're doing the 50-50 thing, fine. You can be that way. You can be, I ain't cooking or I ain't cleaning or whatnot because I got to work just like you have to. I got to chip in just like you have to. I'm pulling my weight and technically a little bit of yours on both sides, the man and the woman. So I get when a woman, feels some type of way if she's in a 50-50 relationship. That makes sense. But if you're in a 100-0 relationship, we're talking about finances strictly, you can at least do that. But once again, the answer to the question, no, a man cannot be considered a provider in a legitimate sense, a provider, if he's not paying 100% of the bills. If you're going 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, you're a contributor. Now, 70-30, that's a little bit more. If the man is a 70%, that one, I think you can have a little bit more respect. You'll have a little bit more respect in comparison to going 50-50 exacts. But like I said, the way the world is nowadays, 50-50 is probably going to be the main choice. I'm saying 100-0, not really. Then you have some people, it was 100-100. Just say 50-50. I know 100-100 sounds good, but let's just say 50-50. And 100-100 is pretty much that setup. It's basically the man pays all the bills and the woman takes care of the house. So that's still the same damn thing when you break it down. Now, if you want to say 100-100, if we're talking about the kids, like building a legacy for the kids, fine. I understand you on that. But when it comes down to it, the answer remains no, you cannot be considered a provider if you don't pay 100% of the bills or the majority of the main big bills, right? You're a contributor otherwise, and that's perfectly fine. That doesn't make you less of a man. Remember that. Southpaw Slick, I'm out.